So hello, this is Wanjiro US. Welcome to today's video. I want us to talk about an affidavit of support. So what is all this about affidavit of support? Form I-134, and sometimes we hear about Form I-864. What is all this about affidavit of support? What is the difference between the two forms, So first of all, I would like to state the difference. So for the Form I-134, this one mostly applies to temporary visas, such as visitor's visa, fiancé visa, such as K1, K2 visas, and so forth, temporary visas. And also a special case for all the DV lottery winners. For the processing of their diversity visa, they are required to complete, or the sponsor to complete, Form I-134. Yeah, so Form I-864, it's completed, for those who are applying for green card already. So that's why I said for the DV lottery winners is a special case, because we would expect them to go towards 864, but it's not the case. They are supposed to complete, or the sponsor to complete, Form I-134. And so my discussion today will be based mostly on Form I-134 as our affidavit of support. So every person who is planning to come to US, they must be ready to prove that they are worth of being admitted in US. They are admissible. One of the reasons which can make you not be found worth to be admitted in US is if there is a likelihood of you being a public charge. What does that mean? Public charge. It means you depend primarily on the government assistance based on your financial needs. So if you cannot be able to prove that you are not going to be a public charge when you come to US, then more likely you will not be given that visa. So you have to prove that you are ready, you have some financial support, in short, of any kind, that when you come here, you are not going to be a public charge. You are not going to depend on the government assistance for your help. So one way you can overcome the ground of being a public charge, and found not worthy to be admitted in US, is actually to provide some documents that can show the available means of financial support. So some of these documents would include things like a job offer letter from a US employer, or bank statements with all informations indicating, preferably indicating withdrawals, deposits, and ways in which you can transfer money to the US, copies of land deeds or real estate to show that you have investments, ownership of insurance policies if you have some, any other copy of any sort of investment that you have that can be easily converted into cash. So if you are not able or in a position to provide this means of financial support, or after they are checked, then there's still insufficiency, then that is where affidavit of support comes in, because now you will be required to look for a US sponsor who can write for you an affidavit of support, simply a declaration of financial support, somebody to commit and say, in case of anything, we can support this person who is immigrating to US. So in that case, the US sponsor who is to complete the Form I-134 must also reach a certain or meet some conditions. One, they have to be either a US citizen or somebody who is a green card holder. So maybe you might have a friend or a relative or somebody else who is still in US somehow, and you think they can write for you an affidavit of support, but maybe they tell you we can't be able to do that, or we are not in a position. Sometimes I would say never be quick to judge, because somebody could be still here in America, but they are not yet citizens, or they don't have a green card. So those people cannot write you an affidavit of support. So it must be a US citizen or somebody who is a green card holder already. Yeah, and when they write or complete that form I-134, they are required to submit alongside it with their financial records. One, they are required to give out their federal taxes report, their current federal taxes report, their bank statement, you know, a letter from their current US employer indicating every information about the job they are currently holding, yeah, and whether it's temporary or permanent. All that details must go alongside with whoever is going to complete Form I-134 as your US sponsor. Yeah, so not everybody who can meet those standards to be in a position to write you an affidavit of support. So it is better to understand that. So not that sometimes people don't want to help, but they are not in a position to help. So whoever completes Form I-134 need not to be a family member. It can also be somebody else whom you know or have some, close relationship with, or enough relationship to be able to convince the immigration authorities that, these are people who can be there to support you in case of anything. After getting your green card up to 3 years, you are not going to learn to ask for government assistance or welfare. So another condition for the sponsor is that their income must meet, the federal current poverty guidelines or above. Their income must be able to support the sponsor with the household and the immigrant, and if they have derivatives along, to be able to support them. So in case their income may not be able to support whoever they are completing Form I-134 for, then probably they will require to get something we call joint sponsor, somebody else coming in to support you as an immigrant. So the legal obligation of signing an affidavit of support as a sponsor is that you are not really promising to support the immigrant, but you are signing that in case the immigrant will be going for the government, assistance through fraud ways, yeah, you can reimburse or refund that amount back to the government. So that is the legal obligation of signing an affidavit of support as a sponsor. And this promise lasts for 3 years after the immigrant receive the green card. After that, the responsibility ends. So I hope this one shed some light to all those who wonder all about an affidavit of support. Yeah, until next, bye for now. Like, share, follow. Bye-bye.